The night was silent in the far corner of the galaxy. Stars blinked like tiny eyes, watching everything that was about to happen. Deep inside enemy space, a small human shuttle slowly landed on a rocky hill. The engines made no sound, hidden from enemy sensors. Inside the shuttle, a special team of human soldiers was ready for one of the most dangerous missions ever. Ryan sat quietly, checking his equipment. His face was calm, but his eyes were sharp. He was a special ops soldier, trained for the worst situations. His mission today was not easy. He and his team had to enter the palace of the Zellari Empire and destroy the throne room. The Zellari Empire had been fighting the humans for years. Their queen, Valera, was known as a dangerous leader. Many believed she was the one behind the war, but no one had ever seen her in person. Rumors said she was always protected by her council, and only a few trusted people were allowed near her. Ryan's commander had told him clearly, "The throne room is the key. Destroy it and we send a message they won't forget." As the team moved out of the shuttle, Ryan whispered into his earpiece, "Stay quiet. No mistakes." The palace was massive. White towers stood tall under the dark sky. Guards walked around, but they didn't expect humans to be here. The Zellari were confident in their security. They had no idea that humans had developed new stealth technology to hide from their scanners. Ryan led his team through hidden paths, using shadows as cover. The palace entrance was heavily guarded, but the team used small drones to distract the guards and sneak inside. Every step was dangerous. One mistake could bring hundreds of soldiers on them. Inside, the palace was beautiful. Strange blue lights shined on the walls. The air smelled of sweet alien flowers. But Ryan had no time to admire it. His focus was clear. They needed to reach the throne room before anyone noticed. "Almost there," whispered one of his teammates. They moved quickly, through long halls, hiding behind tall statues and alien plants. Soon they reached a large door. It was the entrance to the throne room. Ryan carefully placed small charges on the door. With a soft click, the door opened. Inside was the grand throne room. High ceilings, golden designs, and in the center stood the Zellari throne, tall, black, and powerful looking. The room was empty. The queen was not here at this hour. That was part ahead. He knew helping her was more than just a job. Something had changed inside him. He wondered what his life would become once the Empire found her, and what his role would be in the story that was about to unfold. The next morning, Jack woke to the soft hum of the workshop's machines. Outside, the sky was a deep blue, but a quiet tension filled the air. Alara was awake, sitting near the window. She looked out at the stars but did not speak. Jack could see the worry in her eyes. He walked over and sat beside her. "What's wrong?" he asked gently. Alara sighed. "My people are searching for me. The Zinthri Empire will send soldiers to bring me back." Jack frowned. "That sounds serious. Are they coming here?" Alara nodded. "Yes, soon. They believe I was taken against my will." Jack's mind raced. He didn't want trouble. "We need a plan." Alara stood and paced slowly. "If they find you with me, they may think you kidnapped me. You could be in danger." Jack's heart beat faster. "I'm just an engineer. I don't want to fight an empire." Alara looked at him, her eyes soft but firm. "You helped me when no one else would. I will protect you." Jack smiled, feeling a strange warmth. "Then let's make sure they don't find us easily." He checked his communications equipment. "I can try to block their signals for a while." Alara nodded. "Good, but it will not last long." For hours they prepared. Jack worked on reinforcing the workshop's defenses and finding hiding spots. Alara studied the ship's systems, hoping to finish repairs before the soldiers arrived. As they worked, their bond grew stronger. They shared stories of their lives and dreams. Alara told Jack about her royal duties, the pressure to marry for politics, to keep peace between worlds. She spoke of loneliness behind the crown's shine. Jack listened quietly. "You deserve more than a title. You deserve happiness." Alara smiled sadly. "Maybe with you I can find it." Suddenly, alarms blared. Red lights flashed across the station. Jack grabbed a nearby control panel. "They're here." Outside, powerful ships descended. Zinthari soldiers in sleek armor landed quickly, their faces serious and eyes searching. The leader, a tall officer with sharp features, entered the workshop. "Where is Princess Alara?" he demanded. Alara stepped forward, calm and proud. "I am here." The officer's eyes widened. "You were not authorized to leave the Empire." Alara raised her chin. "I chose to leave. I'm no longer just a princess. I want to choose my own path." The soldiers exchanged glances. The leader frowned. "You will come with us?" Alara shook her head. "No, I will stay here." Jack stood beside her. "She is not alone." The soldiers looked at Jack with suspicion. "You are a human. Why do you protect her?" Jack met their gaze firmly. "Because she trusted me. Because I believe in freedom." The leader's face hardened. "You will regret this." But Alara held her ground. "If you want me, you must face me." The soldiers hesitated. This was not the usual royal defiance they expected. Alara continued, "I am more than a title. I am a person with choices." The leader signaled his men to hold back. "We will report this. You will answer to the council." Alara nodded. "I am ready." Jack looked at her, pride swelling in his chest. Together they stood as more than just human and alien. They were two souls fighting for freedom. After the Zinthari soldiers left, silence returned to the workshop. The tension that filled the room slowly faded, but Jack and Alara both felt its weight. They had faced the Empire's wrath together, and something had changed. Alara sat on a worn-out chair, her hands resting on her knees. She looked at Jack. Her eyes filled with emotions she struggled to express. "I have never been free before," she said softly. "All my life I lived under rules and expectations. I wore a mask for my people. But here, with you, I feel like I can be myself." Jack smiled gently. "I'm glad. You deserve that freedom." Alara's gaze dropped. "There is more I want to tell you, something I have never shared." Jack leaned forward, curious but patient. Alara took a deep breath. "As a princess, I was expected to marry a noble of the Empire. It was a choice made for me, not by me. I was afraid of losing who I was." Jack nodded. "That sounds hard." "It was. I felt trapped like a bird in a cage. But when I crashed here, something inside me changed. You showed me kindness without judgment. You treated me as a person, not a title." Jack looked down, then back at her. "I didn't know what to expect when I found you, but I felt something real." Alara smiled, a soft warmth in her eyes. "I feel it too." Jack reached out and gently took her hand. "You don't have to be alone anymore." For a moment, the world around them disappeared. Two different beings from different worlds, connected by something simple and true. Suddenly, the ship's systems beeped loudly. Jack jumped up. "The ship! The repairs are done!" Alara stood and moved toward the ship. She touched its smooth surface. "Thank you, Jack. You have done more than fix a ship. You have fixed my hope." Jack watched as she prepared to leave. But then she turned back, hesitation in her eyes. "Jack? I want to stay here with you." Jack's heart skipped a beat. "Are you sure the Empire will not give up easily?" Alara nodded. "I am sure. I want to choose my own path." "And that path is with you." Jack smiled widely. "Then we'll face whatever comes together." As they stood side by side, a new chapter began. Two souls from different worlds ray off the plan. "Place the grenades," Ryan ordered. The team moved fast. Special grenades were placed around the room, under the throne, along the pillars, and near the walls. These were not normal explosives. They were designed to destroy the room without making the whole palace collapse. As they finished, Ryan checked the timer. 3 minutes, let's move." The team started to exit when suddenly a loud alarm rang out. "Run!" Ryan shouted. The enemy had discovered them. Dozens of guards were rushing towards the throne room. Blaster shots echoed through the palace. The humans returned fire while running. Ryan covered his team, shooting down 2 guards with perfect aim. "We're not gonna make it," shouted one of the soldiers. "Keep moving." Ryan yelled back. The timer was ticking fast. 2 minutes left. More guards blocked the exit. Ryan threw a flash grenade, blinding the Zalari soldiers for a moment. The team ran past them, taking a narrow side path. 1 minute. His teammate warned. Ryan looked behind and saw more guards coming. They had no time. They had to reach the safe zone before the explosion. Finally, they reached a hidden tunnel that led outside the palace. The team jumped inside, sliding down the metal tube as fast as they could. Boom! A huge explosion shook the ground. The throne room was gone. Fire and smoke rose into the sky. The palace alarms kept ringing and enemy ships started flying above. The team ran towards the shuttle, their hearts pounding. The mission was done, but they were not safe yet. As they lifted off into space, Ryan finally allowed himself to breathe. "We did it," said one of his teammates. Ryan nodded, but deep inside, he had a strange feeling. Something was not right. Far behind them, under the smoking ruins of the throne room, Queen Valeera opened her eyes. She was alive, trapped under the rubble. And in her heart she felt something no one expected: gratitude. The smoke from the explosion still filled the air. The bright red flames lit the sky like a terrible sunset. The palace was in ruins. Stones and metal were scattered everywhere. But deep beneath the rubble, something moved. Queen Valeera slowly opened her eyes. Pain was everywhere in her body. She was trapped under heavy stones and broken beams. Dust covered her face, and her breath came in small, painful gasps. She had lost a lot of blood, but somehow she was still alive. She looked around, trying to understand what had happened. The great throne room where she ruled was now nothing but broken walls and fire. Her guards had been caught by surprise. The attack had come from inside, and she had been helpless. Valeera's mind was full of confusion and fear. For many years, she had been controlled by the High Council, the group of powerful leaders who really ran the empire. They kept her as a figurehead, a symbol to the people, but she was not free. They watched her every move, making decisions in her name, forcing her to follow their cruel plans. But this explosion changed everything. For the first time in many years, Valeera was free from the Council's control, even if it was because of a human soldier's attack. She took a deep breath, trying to push the pain away. Slowly, she began to move her arms and legs, searching for a way out. The stones pressed down hard, but her will was stronger. Her fingers found a small gap in the rubble. She pushed and pulled, ignoring the sharp edges that cut her skin. Time passed slowly, but she did not stop. Outside, the sound of alarms and rushing footsteps could be heard. The palace guards were trying to find her. The council's loyal soldiers wanted to capture or kill the queen, but Valeera's mind was clear. She had to escape. Not only to save herself, but to stop the council's evil plans. After many minutes, she managed to free one arm. She used it to pull herself a little further. With great effort, she crawled through the narrow space. Her clothes were torn, her body weak, but her spirit was strong. The last thing she wanted was to be found again by those who wished her harm. Suddenly, Valeera heard voices above the rubble. "She must be dead," one guard said loudly. "The explosion was huge. We need to search carefully," another replied. "If she is alive, the council will punish us." Valeera's heart beat faster. She needed to be quiet. She pressed herself deeper into the shadow, hiding where the guards would not find her. Minutes passed. The guards left, talking among themselves. They believed the queen was gone. Valeera waited until all was silent. Finally, she climbed out from under the last stones. Her legs trembled as she stood. The throne room was a mess. Broken pillars, scattered jewels, and broken statues lay everywhere. But Valeera saw something strange. Near the entrance, she found a small piece of fabric. It was from the uniform of the attackers, human soldiers. Her mind was filled with questions. Why had a human attacked her palace? Was it an act of war or something more? The queen knew one thing. Her own council had planned this carefully. They wanted to weaken her power and keep control over the empire. Valeera's eyes burned with new hope. For the first time in years, she felt a strange feeling she did not expect: gratitude toward the human soldier who had caused the explosion. He did not know it, but by attacking the throne room, he had freed her from the council's prison. Now, she had a choice. She could hide and wait to be captured again, or she could fight back. Valera decided she would fight. Slowly, she started moving away from the ruins. Her body was weak, but her mind was strong. She needed to find help, to find allies who still believed in her and the true peace of the Empire. As she crawled through the palace halls, memories of the past came back. She remembered the times when she had tried to stop the war but was silenced by the council. She remembered the people who had suffered because of their greed. She remembered the human worlds who had fought bravely against the Zalari Empire. Valera's heart burned with determination. If this human soldier wanted to fight, she would fight too, but for a different cause. She wanted peace, freedom, and justice. Far away, Ryan and his team were flying back to their base. They believed the mission was a success. The throne room was destroyed, and the queen was dead, or at least captured. Ryan looked at the stars, feeling a strange mix of relief and worry. Something told him that this mission was just the beginning of a bigger story. The war was not over, and somewhere in the ruins, a queen was crawling through rubble, alive and ready to change everything. Days had passed since the explosion at the Zalari Palace. The galaxy was buzzing with news of the attack. The humans celebrated their success. The Zalari Empire was shocked. Their queen was missing and the throne room was destroyed. Ryan and his team had returned to a secret base on a nearby moon. Their mission was declared a success, but Ryan could not forget the strange feeling he had during the operation. Something was different about this attack. It did not feel like a simple battle. One night, Ryan decided to return to the ruins alone. He wanted to see the damage himself, to understand what he had really done. He landed quietly near the broken palace. The air was still. The smell of smoke and dust filled his nose. The silence was heavy. As Ryan walked through the ruins, he saw signs of life, footprints in the dust, broken branches where someone had passed. Suddenly he heard a weak voice. "Help!" Ryan stopped. The voice came from nearby under a collapsed wall. Carefully, he moved closer and found a figure struggling beneath the stones. It was a woman, injured, dirty, but alive. Her skin was pale blue with a faint glow, and her eyes were sharp and clear despite the pain. Ryan's heart beat faster. This was not an enemy soldier. This was someone different. "Are you hurt?" Ryan asked softly. The woman looked up and nodded. "My name is Valera," she said weakly. "I am the queen of the Zalari." Ryan's eyes widened. The enemy queen, alive and right in front of him. Valera's voice was calm but full of pain. "You destroyed my throne room, but you also saved me." Ryan helped her out from under the rubble. Her body was weak and she leaned on him for support. "Why are you helping me?" Valera asked, surprised by his kindness. Ryan looked around. "I don't want more war. Maybe there's a better way." Valera smiled faintly. "Few believe in peace," Ryan nodded. "I'm one of them." The queen's eyes studied him carefully. "You have been trained to kill me," she said. "But you saved my life." Ryan replied, "Sometimes war changes things we don't expect." Valera knew it was true. She had spent years as a puppet for her council, forced to fight endless battles. But now, in this moment, she saw a chance to change everything. "We both have enemies," she said softly. "The council wants me dead. They want to keep this war going." Ryan's face hardened. "Then maybe we can stop them, together." Valera looked at him, hope growing inside her. For the first time, the human soldier and the alien queen formed a silent bond, a fragile alliance born from the ruins of war. Together they began to move away from the destruction. Valera leaned on Ryan. Her strength slowly returning, she told him stories of the council's cruelty, how they controlled the empire, how they used fear and violence to keep power. Ryan shared stories of the humans' fight for freedom and justice. Though from different worlds, they found common ground in their desire for peace. But trust was difficult. Ryan remembered his orders. The Zalari Empire was the enemy. Valera remembered the pain caused by human attacks, yet in the quiet moments, they saw each other as more than soldiers or rulers. They saw each other as individuals fighting for something better. The ruins around them became a place of hope, not just destruction. As they walked through the broken palace gardens, Ryan asked, "What will you do now?" Valera looked to the stars. thinking of her people trapped under the council's rule. "I will fight for them," she said, "but I cannot do it alone." Ryan nodded. "Then I will help you." The unlikely pair made a plan. They needed allies, people who wanted peace as much as they did. But those allies were hard to find. The council's spies were everywhere, and danger waited at every corner. Still, Ryan and Valera moved forward, bound by a shared goal. That night, as the two sat under a broken statue, a small ship quietly approached the palace ruins. Inside, figures watched the area closely. "They say the queen survived the explosion," a voice whispered. "And she is with a human soldier?" "Another voice asked, shocked. Double quotes. "Yes, if they are allowed to unite, our plans will fail." The Watchers knew they had to act fast. The future of the Zalari Empire, and possibly the galaxy, was about to change, but not without a fight. The palace ruins were quiet now, but danger lurked nearby. Queen Valera and Ryan knew they had little time. The High Council would not forgive her escape. They would send hunters to capture or kill her. And they would not trust a human helping her, but Valera was determined. She could no longer be a prisoner of the council. She wanted to free her people from their cruel rule and bring peace to the empire. Ryan looked at her carefully. He saw not only a queen, but a leader full of hope and courage. He felt the weight of the decision he was about to make. "We need to work together," Valera said quietly. "My council wants to keep the war alive. They control the armies, the spies, everything." Ryan nodded. "If we want peace, we must stop them." Their alliance was fragile. Both came from worlds that had fought for many years. Their soldiers saw each other as enemies. Their leaders wanted destruction, yet here they were, two individuals, ready to risk everything for a chance at peace. They spent days planning in secret. Valera shared secrets about the council's true plans, how they intended to increase the war to gain more power. They planned to attack human worlds and blame the queen to keep her weak and under control. Ryan listened closely, knowing that this information could change everything. "We need allies," he said. "People who want peace on both sides," Valera agreed. "But trust is hard to find." Together they reached out to those still loyal to the queen, soldiers and officials tired of the endless fighting. Some believed her story and joined the cause. Others were suspicious and refused. Ryan contacted human commanders who wanted peace too. They began to understand that Valera was different from the stories they heard. Slowly, the alliance grew, but danger was always near. One evening, as Ryan and Valera met in a hidden room beneath the city, alarms suddenly rang out. "They found us!" Valera gasped. Soldiers loyal to the council stormed the building. Ryan drew his weapon and protected the queen. The fight was fierce but short. Ryan's training and Valera's knowledge of the palace gave them the upper hand. They escaped through secret tunnels into the night. Breathing hard, Valera looked at Ryan. "This is only the beginning," she said. Ryan nodded. "We have to be stronger." In the days that followed, Ryan and Valera worked side by side. They shared stories, fears, and hopes. The queen saw a new side of humanity, brave, loyal, and full of heart. Ryan saw a leader fighting for her people's freedom. Together, they built a new plan to reveal the council's secrets to the galaxy. If the people knew the truth, they could unite for peace. But the council would not go down without a fight. The new alliance between Queen Valera and Ryan was growing stronger by the day. They had gathered a small group of loyal soldiers and trusted leaders who believed in peace. But the High Council was watching closely. They would not let this rebellion go unpunished. One cold evening, as the stars shone quietly above, alarms echoed through the hidden base where Valera and Ryan were meeting. The council's elite hunters had found them. Ryan grabbed his weapon and stood beside the queen. "Get ready," he said firmly. "They are coming." The room filled with tension. Valera's eyes showed no fear, only determination. The doors burst open, and soldiers in dark armor stormed inside. Blaster fire lit the room like lightning. Ryan moved quickly, shooting with precision. Valera called commands to her loyal guards, helping them fight back. The battle was fierce. Ryan and Valera worked together like a well-trained team. Despite being outnumbered, their courage and skill kept the enemy at bay, but the hunters were relentless. They pushed forward, determined to capture the queen alive or dead. During the fight, Valera noticed Ryan take a hit in the shoulder. Without hesitation, she pulled him to cover. "You need to rest," she said softly. Ryan shook his head. "Not yet. We finish this first." The fight lasted for what felt like hours, but at last, the hunters were forced to retreat. The Alliance had won the battle, but it was clear this was only the beginning. After the fight, Valera looked at Ryan with respect. "You fought well. You saved my life." Ryan smiled weakly. "We saved each other." In the quiet moments that followed, Valera shared more about her people, their fears, their dreams, and the heavy burden of being a queen. Ryan listened, understanding the weight she carried. He thought about the war he had fought and the soldiers he had lost. He saw now that Valera was not an enemy, but a leader trapped in a difficult position. As days passed, Ryan and Valera grew closer. They trusted each other more with every secret shared. Valera admired the human strength and loyalty, while Ryan admired her wisdom and courage, but danger was never far. The council sent more hunters, each stronger and smarter than the last. One night, while they rested in a hidden cave, Valera spoke quietly. "The council believes I am weak without their control. They will try everything to destroy us." Ryan nodded. "Then we must be stronger." He began training the loyal soldiers, teaching them human tactics and strategies. Valera used her knowledge of the Empire to guide their moves. Together, they prepared for the final battle, a chance to end the council's reign and bring peace to the galaxy. The day of the final battle had come. Ryan and Queen Valera stood side by side, ready to face the High Council and their forces. Their small army was prepared, trained with both human tactics and Zalari knowledge. This was their chance to end the war and bring peace to their people. The council's base was hidden, deep inside a mountain fortress. Guards patrolled the walls, and alarm systems were ready to alert them at the first sign of attack. But Ryan and Valera had a plan. Ryan led the ground troops through secret tunnels discovered by Valera's loyalists. They moved quickly and quietly, avoiding patrols. Above them, a small team of pilots prepared to disable the fortress defense systems. Inside the fortress, the council leaders gathered, confident in their power. They believed the queen was still under their control and that the humans would never dare attack their stronghold. Suddenly, alarms blared. The final battle had begun. Ryan's team burst from the tunnels, weapons ready. They fought fiercely, using their training and the element of surprise. The council's soldiers were caught off guard, but they quickly regrouped to defend their leaders. Meanwhile, Valera confronted the council in the command chamber. Her voice was strong and clear as she challenged their rule. "You have ruled with fear and lies," she said. "I am the true queen. It is time for peace." The council laughed, mocking her words. But Valera was not afraid. A fierce fight broke out between Valera and the council's strongest guards. She used her skills and determination to overcome them one by one. Her courage inspired her followers, who fought harder to win the battle. Outside, Ryan led the soldiers to disable the fortress weapons. They faced heavy resistance but pushed through with teamwork and bravery. Slowly, the council's forces began to fall. The tide of the battle turned. At last, Valera stood before the council. Leader, the one who had kept her imprisoned for so long. With one final strike, she ended his reign. The remaining soldiers surrendered. The war was over. Ryan and Valera stood together as peace spread through the fortress. Their alliance had won against all odds. The war was finally over. The High Council's rule had ended, and peace began to spread across the Zalari Empire. Queen Valera stood tall, not as a prisoner, but as a true leader chosen by her people. Beside her stood Ryan, the human soldier who had changed everything. The galaxy watched in surprise. Many had believed the war would never end. But the courage of two individuals had brought hope. At a grand ceremony in the rebuilt palace, Valera was officially crowned as the rightful queen. The people cheered for her and for the peace she promised to bring. Ryan was honored as a hero by both the humans and the Zalari. His bravery and willingness to trust the queen had made a difference. After the ceremony, Valera invited Ryan to a quiet garden inside the palace. The air smelled of fresh flowers and soft light filtered through the leaves. She looked at him with gratitude. "You saved me and you saved my people." "I cannot thank you enough," Ryan smiled. "You saved yourself. You chose to fight for peace. I only helped." Valera's eyes softened. "Without you, I might have never had the chance." They sat together, sharing stories of their past and hopes for the future. Though they came from different worlds, they had found a deep connection, built on trust, respect, and a shared dream of peace. Ryan knew his time with the Zalari was ending. Soon he would return to his own people. But a part of him would always remain with the Queen and her empire. Valera stood, placing a hand gently on Ryan's shoulder. "You will always be welcome here. Our worlds are connected now." Ryan nodded. "And I will always stand for peace, no matter where I am." As they parted, both knew this was not an end but a new beginning. The war had shown the darkness in their worlds, but it had also shown the light, the power of courage, friendship, and hope. Together they had changed the fate of two civilizations, and the galaxy was ready to listen.